Julio Estolloso, Biography, Career, Relationships, Net Worth, Legacy, and the Untimely Death that Shook Ibajay. Overview: The Shock and the Facts. On the morning of August 8, 2025, the municipality of Ibajay in Aklan province woke to tragic news. Vice Mayor Julio Estolloso was shot inside the Sangguniang Bayan Municipal Council office and later pronounced dead. Local authorities say he was shot by a fellow local official who was arrested at the scene. The attack and the sudden loss of a municipal leader stunned the community and prompted an immediate police probe. Early life and rise to public service. Public reporting and Estolloso's public profiles indicate he was a long-time figure in local politics in Ibajay. Before serving as vice mayor, he had been involved with municipal governance and is listed in local records as a former Sangguniang Bayan member. His local social media profiles and public listings record ties to local education institutions and public service in Aklan. While Estolloso was not a national celebrity, he occupied an important role in local government, one that placed him in daily contact with constituents, municipal programs, ordinances, and the everyday mechanics of town governance. Because much of Estolloso's early life and family background have not been widely profiled in national media, the public record focuses mainly on his municipal career and his role within Ibajay's elected leadership. Local records show that many municipal politicians in the Philippines rotate between roles such as barangay official, councilor, Sangguniang Bayan member, and other leadership positions before running for executive posts such as mayor or vice mayor. A pattern consistent with Estolloso's public track. Political career and public profile. Estolloso's political life centered on Ibajay. He served as a member of the municipal council and later won the vice mayoralty. As vice mayor, he presided over the Sangguniang Bayan sessions, shepherded local ordinances, and worked closely with the mayor and municipal staff on development initiatives, budget matters, and public services. Local coverage emphasizes that he was a recognizable presence in the town hall, and that his office was where constituents often tried to raise issues and seek assistance. Local news reporting after his death described him as an active official involved in ordinary, everyday municipal work, the sort of tasks that keep a small town running: approving ordinances, coordinating with municipal departments, and helping constituents. That everyday presence is part of why his death, at the seat of local government and during working hours, was especially traumatic for the community. Relationships and private life. What the public record shows and what it doesn't. Public, reputable news outlets that covered the shooting provided extensive details about the incident itself, but gave scant verified information about Estolloso's private life. There are local social media listings that attach his name to community posts and public service records, but major national outlets did not publish an in-depth profile of his family status, spouse, or children in the immediate coverage of the killing. In other words, his public identity is primarily as a municipal official, not as a widely profiled private figure, and reliable reporting available at the time of writing does not supply a comprehensive, verifiable account of his personal relationships. Out of respect for privacy, and because the media accounts did not provide confirmed family details, most reports focused on the official response: police custody of the suspect, suspension of municipal work, statements from the mayor, rather than speculation about Estolloso's private life. Where local pages or social feeds include personal details, those are not the same as rigorously verified published facts. So any conclusive statements about his family would be premature. Net worth, transparency, and limits of public data. For many local officials in the Philippines, personal wealth information is partly disclosed through required statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth (SOLNs). However, these documents are not always publicly harvested and summarized by national outlets for municipal officials, especially for smaller towns, and the immediate news coverage around the shooting did not include an audited public profile of Estolloso's wealth. As a result, There is no reliable, publicly reported net worth figure for Julio Estolloso in the national news accounts covering his death. Any attempt to pin a dollar figure or peso amount without official documents would be speculative. It is worth noting, in general, that municipal salaries and allowances in the Philippines provide modest compensation compared with national or private sector figures. Many local leaders supplement public income with business interests, family assets, or agricultural holdings, but without Estolloso's SALN or a trustworthy financial profile published by authorities or investigative outlets, the factual record on his net worth remains inconclusive. The shooting, timeline, and immediate aftermath. According to multiple, independent news reports, the fatal shooting occurred inside the Sangguniang Bayan Session Hall of Ibajay Town Hall on the morning of August 8, 2025. Police and eyewitness accounts say the assailant, identified by authorities as a Sangguniang Bayan member named Miral Sanatan, entered the council office, asked staff for copies of ordinances, and confronted Estolloso before opening fire. Eyewitnesses reported multiple gunshot wounds to the head and chest. Estolloso was rushed to the Ibajay District Hospital, but was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. The suspect was arrested and taken into custody at the municipal police station. National and regional outlets carried similar core details. The location, SB Session Hall, the time, morning session, the identity of the suspect, a municipal councillor, and the immediate arrest. Authorities said early motives were under investigation. Preliminary reporting suggested the exchange in the session hall, including a request for records, may have precipitated the confrontation, but investigators emphasized that the probe was ongoing and cautioned against premature conclusions. Official responses and the town's reaction. The killing prompted swift official responses. The municipal mayor condemned the act, municipal operations were briefly suspended, and the municipal flag was ordered flown at half-mast as the locality mourned. Local law enforcement and the provincial police declared an immediate investigation, and the suspect was being held as authorities prepared murder charges. These actions signaled not only the criminal seriousness of the event, but also the civic shock that a fatal attack would take place inside the very building meant to be the center of local democratic deliberation. Community reactions, recorded in local reporting and social feeds, combined grief with anger and an urgent demand for a transparent investigation. For residents and municipal employees, the violence inside the session hall shattered the normal sense of municipal routine and raised questions about safety inside public offices, an issue that municipal leaders and police publicly pledged to address. Legacy. How a town remembers a working vice mayor. Julio Estolloso's legacy will be framed largely by how his absence affects the town he served. For many small municipalities, the legacy of a vice mayor or councillor is not a single headline-grabbing achievement, but the cumulative effect of ordinances passed, services maintained, and constituent requests answered. Reports after his death emphasize his role as a daily administrant of municipal governance. Someone who participated in the small but essential work of keeping local government functioning. In that sense, Estolloso's legacy is local and practical. Colleagues and residents will remember specific initiatives, the tone of council deliberations he led, and the accessibility he provided to constituents during his tenure. Longer term, his death could become a touchstone in Ibajay for discussions about political tensions in local government, the safety of public servants, and the need for constructive dispute resolution among elected officials. If reforms or new practices emerge from the tragedy, for example, tougher protocols in council chambers or conflict mediation mechanisms, those changes may become part of the institutional legacy tied to his killing. The investigation and what comes next. Authorities arrested the suspect at the scene and signaled that they would prepare murder charges, while the provincial police vowed a thorough, professional investigation. In the days and weeks that follow, investigators typically pursue forensic evidence, witness statements, ballistic reports, motive tracing, and a careful reconstruction of the moments leading to the shooting. Local prosecutors will weigh charges and present the case in court. Meanwhile, municipal governance must continue with interim arrangements to maintain public services. Beyond criminal prosecution, the incident may spur administrative reviews of municipal safety, the accessibility of weapons within local spaces, and the rules governing conduct among council members. Citizens and community leaders often call for transparent reporting and accountability in high-profile local crimes, and that demand can shape both the judicial process and policy responses at the municipal level. A final reflection. The killing of Vice Mayor Julio Estolloso is a tragedy that combines loss on a human level with civic alarm. For the people of Ibajay, from municipal staff and elected colleagues to neighbors and constituents, the violent end of a public servant inside the offices where he worked raises uncomfortable questions about conflict, safety, and the fragility of public life even in small communities. While the national headlines record the facts of the incident and the legal steps that follow, the deeper aftermath will be lived by a town troubleshooting grief, seeking justice, and attempting to restore the routines of ordinary civic life.